What does it take to win on the Walmart FLW Tour? Well, if you were to judge by this year, 2000, you'd say previous experience. That's right, every winner this year except one has won before on the tour. Beginning with Steve Daniel, last January, Okeechobee adding a third FLW trophy by catching the only limit on championship day. Scott Martin, winner of the Co-Angler of the Year award last year, braved fog and waves on the Gulf to catch 13 pounds, 11 ounces to win the Pascagoula, Mississippi tournament. Clark Winland began his march to this year's Angler of the Year title by fishing smart and outdistancing a tough field on Lake Murray in South Carolina. Since winning in Mississippi in 1997, Rick Clunn had been unable to gain a championship until April on Beaver Lake in the 2000 Walmart Open. While Davey Hyde and others were making 300-mile round trips on the Mississippi River, Gary Klein stayed closer to home and locked a repeat win at the Memphis tournament. And again at the Forestwood Open on Pickwick Lake, it was Rick Clunn in control again, finding and expertly catching enough to win $250,000 more. Well, we've come to the end of our season here in 2000, and we're ready now for the championship with all of these winners, plus the top 44 points getters from the qualifying events. We're here on the Red River, which flows down from Texas and Oklahoma into Arkansas and right here past Shreveport, Louisiana. This is our headquarters. Here it becomes the last large tributary to the Mississippi River before it flows into the Gulf of Mexico. A system of 5 locks and dams along the river have created some very, very fine fishing spots all over the place. So many of them, in fact, look so good that the anglers have had a hard time eliminating water as they've pre-fished this tournament, getting ready for this championship. Right now we're looking at last year's Tour Championship winner. This is Darrell Robertson of Jay, Oklahoma, trying to make it into the Final 5. This is the one that does it. Gets Darrell into the Final 5, and once again, a shot at the championship.
Now we can talk. Now we can speak.
Well, it has been a year to remember on the Walmart FLW Tour, and here we are, championship time. Tommy Sanders along with Jerry McInnes. We're on the Red River here in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is a place, Jerry, a lot of history, but only in recent years has it truly come into its own as a big-time professional bass fishing tournament venue. Beautiful place.
And we've been on 3 river systems during the season, and they're always so very interesting. And we've started with 50 really top pros, so you know when we get to this point, we're going to have an all-star cast.
We've got the best.
Listen to this 5 here. We've got a youngster with a lot of family history, knows how to win championships because he's done it before, Dion Hipton.
Dion Hipton.
And in order to win this one, you got to have everything going your way. And
we have a gentleman that has worked his way up from the bottom, really, is really having a great career, but has never been this far before.
Greg Powers, just getting started, but he's doing
absolutely
great. Yeah.
Go fish like a nut and hope for the best. And don't take any lunch breaks.
Another gentleman that has been in this finals 3 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah, Tommy Biffle.
And Mr. Second Place.
Yeah,
well, he doesn't even want to be talking
he's
about
ready to
second.
shed that title down, I think.
Well, we're going to run about 25 minutes down the river to a spot I've been fishing. I'm a little bit worried. I've been fishing it for 3 days now, and I think there's enough fish there to win it.
And then a real legend from Bee Branch, Arkansas. Larry Nixon has won everything there is to win except this championship.
Watch out for him.
And let's throw in last year's champion.
Yeah, Darrell Robertson won $250,000 here last year, went on to win the Millennium Tournament, the Ranger Tournament, another $600,000, so he knows what it's like to cash in some good checks.
I think I'm making a good decision this morning.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I think the fish will bite down there where we're going.
We ought to have a lot of fun here.
A lot of fun. $250,000 is the first prize to the winner, and we're ready to go with the championship, the Walmart FLW Tour.
You got a 1 in 5 shot to win $250,000. And you know, it ain't so much about the money as it is just getting a fish on the last day against the caliber of fishermen that's sitting out there. How many people in the world would trade places with me right now? Would you trade places with me? No doubt.
No, number 4, still on boat. Stolen Reserve, Dion Hipton, Louisiana.
Well, that's real unhandy. Gosh dang it.
Dion says, what a way to start the day, knowing that bites may be few and they may be far between. Boy, there went one of them right there.
Broke one off every day. I've got that out of the way now.
Okay, Dion, and we're looking at water that is really very productive, but man, has it taken a beating over the past few days. These fish have seen a lot of baits.
Oh, dang it. Well, they're not eating it this morning. They're just bumping it.
Well, unlike our last river outing on the Mississippi, where no one fished the actual river itself, Dion is actually fishing the river here on the Red.
He's fishing the river a lot. He'll probably be there all day long. He's fishing with a jig with a plastic chunk as a trailer, and he's probably in 2 to 5 feet of water. Tommy Biffle was in that depth of water too, but Dion has a big drop-off on the back side of him.
Good job, Dion.
A little bit of patience. Let him swim just a little bit. Whew. Another one of them nightmares. I thought, oh, come on. Don't come on.
The FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By Citgo. You know me. By the Coca-Cola Company. Always Coca-Cola. And by Coleman, the outdoor recreation company.
Here we are.
The Walmart FLW Tour Championship here, and for Larry Nixon, here we are, is really just downstream from the takeoff spot, right above the first block.
I always stop a little bit short and kind of get my casting down. Get the edge off, yeah. The joints limbered up, no kidding. Be nice if a Godzilla would eat it, though.
Well, as we said, there are plenty of locks here, 5, in fact, on the Red River in this region. And I don't know, Jerry, do you like these setups where locks are part of the competition here?
Well, you know what? I think I like watching it.
Yeah.
I think the viewers might like it a lot. I don't know about the fishermen, though, because it takes so much calculating, and there's so much risk. And am I going to get to the lock on time? And can I get back?
Well, once you commit to it, you really can't get back and fish anyplace else.
That's right. But if you're catching a lot of fish downstream, the locks are just great, I guess.
Well, in this particular lock, we're looking at Craig Powers there from Rockwood, Tennessee. He's actually in that lock with Darrell Robertson, who was last year's champion, of course, at Fort Gibson Lake in Wagner, Oklahoma, the Walmart FLW Tour Championship.
How's old Darrell's? I drove the camera boat for him last year when he won. We pulled up this brush pile. He's as calm as anybody I've ever been around. Throws that buzzbait across that brush pile, and I mean that. The biggest one he caught, that 4.5 pounder, just gorilla stomped that buzzbait. He don't jerk, he just kind of just leans into it. He turns around and looks right at me. He says, boy, I could really use that in cutting. Just that calm, just starts whining. Come up there and jumped about 3 times. He said, turned around and looked at me and said, I wish that fish would quit jumping. I tore all to pieces. He just calm as a cucumber, though. Boy, I really need that one.
Here's another calm fisherman right here, Tommy Biffle.
Yeah, and do you think old CP is going to get tore all to pieces again today, Tom?
I think he'd like to be.
Hey, you know, I bet Tommy'd like to be flipping a little bit more than he is, but man, he's throwing a spinnerbait because he can't get back in there with hardly anything else.
Over the log, come on. Yes. Whew. That'll work. 4 more like that one. 4 more like that one.
Well, half the battle here is getting your boat around in that shallow water. It's man, it may only be a foot deep there in some places, and
completely choked up with the logs and the vegetation. It's pretty back in there, but boy, it's sure tough getting around.
For some reason, right here in this 50-yard stretch is that kind of fish. I said yesterday, if I was smart, I'd tie up to one of these trees right here and never move. Just take a big gamble and because these fish are here and they're gonna bite sometime during the day.
Fishing under these circumstances, it certainly does limit your choice of lures. Always it makes boat handling a big deal.
Oh, dang. Let that water boil. Dadgummit. See, that's good fish right there.
You caught that other?
Yep. Dadgummit.
We were sitting in this lock the other day, tied off to one of these things. That's right, water snake about that long. There's snakes down here everywhere, and I hate them. I don't hate them, I'm terrified of them. I hate coconut and I hate greens. I'm scared to death of snakes.
Back on the Red River, the Walmart FLW Tour Championship. Several of our anglers already boated good fish. 2 of them still headed to their spots.
Right now it's 7:45. We've been traveling for about an hour and 15 minutes. We've probably got about 20 more minutes till we get to the dam. Then we've got probably about 20 or 25 minutes locking time. So right now I'm looking at starting fishing at probably around 8:30 or so. Seems like a lifetime away, but we'll get there, maybe.
Well, another interesting story going on here at the Tour Championship. The Walmart FLW Tour and its anglers, along with the Fish America Foundation, have put up some pretty serious bucks. They've purchased about 7,500 Florida strain bass fingerlings. They're going to release them in the Red River here. Now, if you go up and down the river, you see all this terrific bass habitat, and it's hoped that the Florida strain will establish itself here in the river and so it can truly reach its potential as a big bass fishery. So they're looking forward to that. Jerry McInnes is out in the chopper now. Jerry, who have you found for us?
Well, Tommy, we are zeroed in on Dion Hibden right now, and that's really exciting, the fish you're turning loose up there. Maybe we'll take advantage of that in a couple of years from now. But Dion, my friend, I understand that the possibility of your dad showing up here today is pretty big, and that's exciting for all of us. And I'd like to ask you, what would be the biggest thing you have picked up from your dad fishing alongside of him for many years now?
I was fortunate enough to catch a good one just a while ago, and we talked about it, and probably a little bit of patience. You know, the fish got hung up on a log, and I finally got him out, and Dad's a very patient fisherman, and that's probably what I've gained more than anything. You know, today fishing's not real fast. It's never been real fast, and I think just showing a little bit of patience in this type of situation. You know, fishing for $250,000, a guy can get a little bit excited. And
man, you have been in the position to win big tournaments a number of times. Is there something special that happens?
Oh, it's definitely a different day. There's one thing on your mind, and that's winning. You know, placing good and doing good doesn't mean anything to me. You know, I want to win, and I'm going to stick with what I think will win. And like I say, having a little bit of patience to go along with that sure helps things out.
Dion, do you expect to kind of fish in this general area for the majority of the day, or are you going to move around a lot?
I'm going to move around quite a bit up and down the river, but I'll be on the main river all day.
You're not fishing any backwaters at all, is that right?
No.
Is the wind a threat to you?
No, not really. Wind blows too hard over here, I'll go over there. I'm just fishing around.
Okay, Dion, we appreciate your time. We're going to let you go. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Dion Hibden fishing pretty close to home there. You fish close to home, you fish far away. That's always an important decision on these river tournaments. Now here's a far away guy who's finally down below the second lock, and he's now joined the competition well after 8:30. Craig Powers, Rockwood, Tennessee. Now, all through the first 3 days of this tournament, he's had guys banging crankbaits off the rocks and the concrete walls. And today he could become a favorite because, well, today he's got the place to himself. Craig's what you call a power fisherman, a truly aggressive angler. These guys like to fish a little bit, pick up, make a move, even a very short move, just to sort of clear the cobwebs and keep things rolling for him. He loves to fish that way, and he's got all the room in the world to do just that, wide open spaces. He's got about 3 hours less fishing time than all the rest of these competitors.
Come higher, not coming over and fishing this too.
Man, he felt like a good one. They get around them trees, they feel like a good one, but I think he's 12 inches, so he'll be a good one.
Tommy Biffle thinking about anything but second place today here at Shreveport. Craig Powers right here, who's fishing completely different from the other anglers we've seen so far today. He is making up for that time he lost traveling through those locks. Remember, there's 8 hours of time on the water, 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Each angler trying to bring back their best 5 fish to Shreveport and the weigh-in. Fish must be 12 inches long, and of course they're all hoping to cull. Once you get your 5-fish limit, you catch a bigger fish, you can continue to upgrade and throw out the smaller fish, put the bigger one in. That's what they're all trying to do. Craig hoping to cull very soon, but right now he's pretty happy with what he's got.
Well, it felt like a fish hit that thing. Of course, I really wouldn't know. I haven't had old enough bites today to know what one feels like. We're not going to panic, though.
Well, he didn't panic last year, Darrell Robertson, and he won $250,000. He's the defending champion in this tournament here, the season-ending championship of the Walmart FLW Tour. We're here on the Red River, Shreveport, Louisiana. That man right there, Dion Hibden. We're also covering Larry Nixon and Tommy Biffle, Craig Powers. Dion's just landed his second fish of the day right there. And after that first little flurry he had early on that log, that same place there, Dion, he struggled. But
Damn slot machine.
Seems to have a lot of confidence fishing in that spot. He seems to think they're there, right there on the banks of the main river.
We caught about 10 or 12 keepers off of there this week. Is that right? Yeah. I just need about 3 more of them. Logs like that.
Back to Craig Powers here. Craig is fishing the river as well. He's really focusing on current. You see some fast-moving water there as opposed to that water that Dion Hibden was fishing. He's throwing crankbaits around the little dams and the bridge pilings, the rock jetties there. Craig Powers from Rockwood, Tennessee. Had a great year. His first year out on the Walmart FLW Tour last year, he notched a top 5 finish on the Mississippi River in Memphis, Tennessee. That's always a tough one to do well in. So he's proven that he can do the job. Back over now to Tommy Biffle. Completely different style of fishing here. Completely different pattern. Shallow water, just like Dion Hibden, but boy, he is way off the river. Dion right there next to the main channel. He's not moving a bit. Tommy, he's in this flat stuff, and he's, you know, by definition, when you fish a place like this, sometimes you're going to have to do some traveling. You're going to have to move that boat around in order to find the fish.
Did you get that? Huh? It just popped off the rod. Probably got loose on the ride down here or something.
We haven't heard from Larry Nixon in a while. It's about time to take care of that.
Hey, Larry, you know, I see the look on a lot of athletes, basketball players, baseball players, when they are really determined, they really have a feeling that they're going to do something big. And I've been seeing that look in your face all week long.
Well,
I had that look for sure till yesterday, and then yesterday when that wind blowed in here all day and I couldn't catch these fish worth a hoot, well, it had me worried, and sure enough, they're not doing it for me today right now, and I can't give it a whole lot longer. I'm gonna have to abandon this area, and this is where all my good fish are, and if I abandon this area, odds are good I'm not gonna win.
What do you think that wind actually does to these fish?
It stirs this shallow water up, and you get a lot of silt moving around, and they just shut down. They're just like Florida bass, and it's, I don't know that they can't see, it's just that they don't feed very good.
Well, you know, I know it's got to be awful disappointing to you because you work awful hard to get to this day, and then have the elements mess you up a little bit, but that's part of it, I guess, isn't it?
Well, that's part of fishing. You're supposed to have a backup plan, and you know, I've checked 2 or 3 things that I had going, and I may have fished them a little too fast, and you know, I'm just going to have to go somewhere and find me a little clearer water and start over, looks like.
Well, a slow start for Larry Nixon, but hey, you know, lots of time left today of fishing. 2 bites, he's right back there in the ball game. Could be Daryl Robertson getting in the ball game here. That 1 bite for him so far and gets a fish. I don't know if that one's going to measure or not. I guess he's going to take out the board and have a look at that. Larry Nixon, boy, yesterday he complained. He said he could hardly keep his boat in position to catch those fish. He knew it was going to be tough today, and, well, you heard him. They're just not there today. They're not biting at any rate. We've seen a lot of fish measuring today. The fish are not huge this week on the Red River. It is a great fishery, but this week's a tough week. Each and every fish, each and every bite, so valuable.
See that bee's nest over there hanging on that little old bush? I almost run right over it yesterday, I think it was.
Well, you no good, sorry. No biting. Sapsuckers.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Energizer. Energizer batteries and flashlights, the power to keep going and going. By Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. By Poulan, the name means quality. And by Shop Vac. The only thing more powerful is our name.
It's the kind of fish I gotta have right there. Whew. Man, I was beginning to wonder if it was ever gonna happen.
For all you tournament anglers out there, doesn't that make you feel a little bit better when you know that even Larry Nixon, a guy like that, struggles sometimes, just like everybody else. He does have a history, though, that says you better watch out when he gets going. That 3-pounder might just get him going.
It's on a power hog, yeah, a big old plastic glob of grap. With a 3/4-ounce sinker and 25-pound test line. All right, fish, 4 like that, son, I can walk off with it. I think. 4 more.
Here's where we stand right now. We saw Daryl Robertson catch this fish. That's the only fish he's gotten so far, just barely measured. That's 1 fish of 1 pound for the defending champion, Daryl Robertson. Larry Nixon blanked until this point. We just saw him catch that one, a good 3-pounder. So he may get going real soon. There are just a few of these anglers that say it's good luck to miss your first fish of the day. I don't think Dion Hibben is a guy who believes that. That's what happened to him, but he persisted, and he went on to catch 2 more good fish. He's got 4 pounds in his live well right now. And Craig Powers, who made that long run like Robertson, but much better results. 4 fish also for Craig Powers, 7 pounds. Tommy Biffle, looking better than any of these anglers so far. He's in a great looking area. 4 fish so far for Tommy Biffle, 1 away from the limit, 8 pounds at this point. Another angler who would love to be in this final 5 contesting for the championship is Clark Winlet. not too far away over the border in Austin, Texas. Clark, though, has done something very, very hard to do this year. He's bested all the other anglers in consistency over the first 2 days of each tournament. He is our Angler of the Year. That's the award for the most consistency, the best performance overall.
And I won it back in 1997, and I'd love to win it
FLW Angler of the Year.
An important award.
Angler of the Year.
Really important. Be consistent, focused.
Consistent Angler of the Year.
Angler of the Year.
Champion, then Clark Wendlandt.
Clark Wendlandt is the FLW Angler of the Year.
I won back in 1997 also, and this is the second one, and to me that's a lot more special because back then the emphasis was not really put on that award nearly as much, and now there's beginning to be with the cereal box, Kellogg's coming along, and that's more notoriety to the sport. I think the sport really benefits from that, not only me but the sport, and there's nothing but positives that come from the whole thing.
Clark Wendlandt grew up in Cedar Park, Texas, where he developed a sense of competitiveness early. As he grew older, he became more interested in the outdoors, spending every weekend with his family hunting and fishing. Clark's great-grandfather started the magazine Highlights for Children, so it seems family has always been important to the Wendlandts.
Clark never was one of these that stayed in town on the weekends and partied and, until he started dating me. And that was really when he first started staying home from going to the ranch every weekend. But every weekend he was with his family.
After they both graduated from Texas A&M, Clark and Patty married. Clark began his fishing career, and Patty began a legal career as a litigator in a law firm. When the Wendlandt family grew to 4, they had to make a decision that many families of tournament fishermen face. Patty quit a job that she loved to join Clark on the road.
Without Patty and the girls traveling with me, I know the success would not have come at the level it has, and they're there all the time, and they're there with me even if they're not with me, and without them, I just couldn't do what I'm doing.
Emily is 6, and she's in 1st grade, and we're homeschooling her, and Katie is 4, and she thinks she's 14. What really has allowed us to be able to travel like we are is being able to homeschool. And there's a lot of people around the country that homeschool, and for various reasons, but for us, really the reason we do it is so that we can travel with Clark.
Together, ready?
Friday, Saturday.
Very good. And what month is it?
Good opportunity for the kids to learn about, Emily, I'm sure, knows more about geography than any 1st grader, and more than she really needs to know, but, it's nice.
Where? Florida.
I think the validation has been kind of coming a process over about the last 5 years. Patty quit work about 4 years ago now. So 4 years, I've realized that, yeah, we can do this. We can make, and she can travel with me some. And, I had somebody tell me yesterday, you've probably done as much as most people ever do in a career. And, that didn't even, I've never thought of that ever. I just want to continue to do well and do better and better.
And it's kind of nice to be able to say, yeah, it really worked out. And he did it.
And the next tournament's on my mind right now.
Clark Wendlandt, outstanding young man, certainly a credit to this sport. Right now, though, we need to keep our eye on this man, Tommy Biffle. He is leading the way so far today.
That's 5 anyway. Not much, but he's 5.
Hey, Tommy, we were just thinking here, all the talk and all the newspaper stories and everything when they talk about you, of course. One of the stories is all the second places you've had, and maybe it's time to put that aside and really acknowledge the fact that second is pretty darn good, and the fact that you've been in the Final 5 3 times now in the FLW Tour Championship really speaks for your ability, and it means you're going to punch on through and win one of these days. Could today be the day?
Well, Tommy, I'm hoping so. The fish are going to have to turn on a little bit more. It seems like it's really a slow day today.
All the anglers sort of scratch their head when they come out and it's just a perfect high blue sky day. What does that do to fishing, really? And what are the ways that you guys, the pros, adjust to it?
Well, usually, Tommy, that makes them go to that cover. And I'm afraid that's what's happened today because I've been catching all my fish on spinnerbait. And seems like you got to make them bite it almost. You have to bump a tree and shake it for them to get a reaction strike. And, perfect high bluebird days are flipping days. But
yeah.
I can't get a good flipping bite. I caught a little one a while ago flipping, but all the bigger fish have come on this white spinnerbait. Ah!
cut that camera off now. Golly bum. Man, he just barely had that thing.
Well, ouch. Pretty frantic moment there, to say the least, for Craig Powers. We want to show you what that looked like from Craig's hat cam. He's actually wearing one. It is mounted right there on the bill of his hat, and, well, you can pretty much watch and see what happens there. That fish hit really, really close to the boat. Looks as though, well, see, he's got very little of that lure, and it just pulls off right there.
Well, explain what happened there so we'll know.
I had one on, about a 2.5 pounder, and it just had the back hook just barely in the top of its lip, and it jumped right beside the boat and came off.
Oh, my gosh. Pretty much been doing that thing up against the rock banks and the revetments and the walls of the lock and dam all day, and you plan to continue all through the rest of the day?
Yeah, as much time as I've got left, I'm going to stay right here.
All right.
There's enough fish here to win if I just figure out how to get them to bite.
Now, when you're fishing the rock banks and the revetment banks and all that riprap and walls, it's a different kind of thing. Tell us how you throw that crankbait. First off, start with that riprap. Do you throw it right at the edge of the rock in the water and then start it down, or are you trying to go down the bank or perpendicular? Tell us how you do it.
Well, some of these riprap banks there's deep water right next to them. The revetment banks, where they divert the river back into the channel, the water's real deep on them, and you're better off paralleling them. But like this bank I'm fishing here, it's real shallow up next to the bank, and out about 15 foot, it's still only about 5 feet, and then it drops into the river channel. So, you just got to fish each one of them different. This bank I'm staying way out off of and just making long casts, but every one of these banks are different.
About what depth do you get most of your bites today?
5 to 8 foot.
5 to 8 feet.
Yeah.
Still got plenty of time. Still a lot of work to be done. Are you optimistic?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday I didn't catch my best 3 fish till the last 30 minutes. So, as long as you're casting, you've got a chance.
All right. Keep casting.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
See ya. Daggone, I didn't need to let that last one get off.
Tommy, let me jump in here and help you out a little bit with old Craig Powers as we get another look from the bill of his baseball cap. And this fish hits a little further out than the last one. Not much now. And it gives you a better chance of putting him in the boat when they hit a little further out.
Well, you talk about
hey, Craig is making his move.
Now right there is as big a ones I've caught down here yet. Thank you, Lord. I needed that one. Boy, that's a pretty one right there. You daggone right it does. Thank you, Lord, I needed that one. Man, that hit, I was getting ready to pick it up out of the water. Mercy.
Quick look at the leaderboard right now. Biffle and Powers, 2 limits, tied up there at 9 pounds. Dion Hibden, 2 fish, 4 pounds. Nixon and Robertson, just 1 fish apiece. Right now, Dion Hibden. We asked him earlier about being a natural fisherman. This is what he told us.
He's a natural. He's one of those ones, and there's very few of those. Fishing against a couple of them tomorrow. Nixon by far is probably one of the most natural fishermen that ever came down the pike. Everything relates to fishing to him. From the birds to running down the lake. And he sees stuff. He's a very natural fisherman. A lot of us have to do it in a different way with practice and working at it and stuff. And I don't feel I'm that person yet. And like I say, to John Q. Public, that's probably a big misconception. They all think, oh, they're just naturals, they're good, And a lot of us aren't. A lot of us just work hard. We have to work very hard for what we get, and we mess around, and we have a little bit of that natural stuff. But there's very few really natural fishermen out there. You got Ricky, you got Larry, you got Dad, Klein. There's more. That's just a few of them. Those are probably right at the top of the list, though. Those are very, very natural fishermen. And you have naturals in every sport, that are they're just that much better, And all the rest of us are in awe of that, And I'm no exception.
Well, you know what I think? I think Dion's being a little humble there. He's been in this championship once before. He's won the Bassmaster Classic, and he's starting to look pretty tough today.
I believe he will.
Well, we're sort of getting a bird's eye view of everything that's going on today. We're seeing some things we've never seen before. What do you think about that?
I think this little camera deal is pretty neat. I can't wait to see what it looks like on TV. I mean, except for that last part, I just do not see that again.
Come on, boys, let's hear some chatter. I'm having a tough time. Come on. You guys just got here on the scene. It's not been a good day. Ask these other loyal guys. I mean, been following me for 3 hours without a damn bite. Whew. Whatever they like about this right here is something else, because I guarantee you, out of the 18 bass that I've caught thus far, 7 or 8 of them's come right here. And I broke my line twice here. Whoa. Whoa. Like a slot machine, I'm telling you. I'm getting happier by the minute. That's the exact flip where I broke my line this morning.
That one didn't have a jig in his gullet.
That didn't have a jig in his gullet, though.
My, oh my, we may have watched a monumental and important 3 minutes in the life of Dion Hibden.
What a log. I just keep thinking about that log laying there just covered up with fish.
Unbelievable. Here's Craig Powers.
Craig Powers is right on the point of the dam, and
oh no.
Oh yeah, he's having a bit of a nightmare going on in his life. Wow, that was a toughie. Both those guys giving Tommy Biffle a run for his money though, aren't they?
Pretty much. What was that, net? I didn't. Oh, boys. What a log, what a log. Oh, man. Yeah. You guys might have to split his 10% with you guys just so you hang out for the next few hours.
Uh-oh. Watch out now. Dion's starting to count his money.
I think he should take this log back to Missouri with him.
Throw it on in.
I just gotta settle down.
Unbelievable. You fish all over the river.
And I'm
One little deal here where you've been catching them. Start catching them again.
And the neat thing about it, like I say, I've caught 2 4-pounders off of it this week. And I've broke my line a couple of times. I mean, you know, these dang sure some nice ones live here too, you know. My dad, it don't make no difference if he's got 1 fish in the boat or if he's got 100 pounds in the boat. If he catches a bass, he sits down and reties. Because he says if you don't, he said, you'll mess up on the next one. He said, you gotta calm down just a little. And me with this little flurry that's going on, I'm sure I'll mess something up if I don't settle down a little bit. I'd worked this thing all over the first day, boy. Just worked it over real good and slow and caught 2 and pulled my jig out of the end of that tree right there. Made a bad flip. Just kind of had to pull it up there, and I pull it up there and I'm trying to jiggle it, get it over the lemon. I can see my jig, and about a 2-pounder goes, scoops it right off the end of it.
Okay, I know Dion is ready to head for Shreveport, and I guess everyone's about ready to go that way and watch a weigh-in This town has been awesome this week, and we're about to top it all off with a close one.
Walmart FLW Tour, please bring to the stage Tommy Sanders. Tommy.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you all. Thank you so much for coming out here today and making our show for us.
I'm scared of myself right now. Just have no idea what's going on.
Well, this is Homer Stevens, Noblesville, Indiana, and congratulations to him. Big win on Friday on the co-angler side, $25,000 worth. Here we are for the big one, though, and Hibden, Biffle, and Powers are the only competitors left.
All right. It's going around now to Craig Powers. Craig Powers from Rockwood, Tennessee needs 2 pounds and 2 ounces in order to stay in this thing. Old CP can catch him. We'll see if he can catch enough right now. He's weighed in 3 so far. All right, looking for 2-2. Looking for 2-2.
2 pounds, 5 ounces.
All right, he's still in it. How about that for Craig Powers? Dion Hibden, man, it's getting down, it's getting tight and close now. Just needs 9 ounces, Dion Hibden. 9 ounces in order to take the lead. All right, just 9 ounces is all we need.
That'll do it there. This fish weighs 1 pound, 13 ounces,
all
113.
Right. Sticking around, Dion Hibden. Right now is when it starts to get good. Tommy Biffle needs 1 pound, 10 ounces. 1 pound, 10 ounces from Tommy Biffle. 110, Tommy. And here we go, Tommy Biffle, who's weighed in 4 fish so far.
So this is his limit fish.
This is his limit fish. Look at that. Wow. Tommy Biffle.
That's a great way to fill out a limit there, Tommy.
That makes a nice limit.
All right, it's his 5th fish. This one weighs in at 3 pounds, 5 ounces.
All right, 3 guys hanging in there. Tommy Biffle takes a seat. 3 guys still left in this thing. Tommy Biffle has upped the ante. Craig Powers, who's weighed in 4 fish, is going to need 3 pounds, 2 ounces in order to take the lead and stay in it. Craig Powers from Rockwood, Tennessee. Top 5 down at Okeechobee to start this year. A great effort.
This is his limit fish also, so you got to be 3 pounds, 2 ounces to jump into the lead for $250,000. Nope, not going to make it as close. It's got a good solid fish, but it's going to be a little short. This one here, 2 pounds, 1 ounce, 2-1.
All right, let's hear it for Craig Powers. What a great week. Well, I'll tell you what, pretty nice right here. This is the way we like to see it come down to the end. Tommy Biffle up there, weighed in 5 fish. Dion Hibden's weighed in 4 fish. We got maybe 1 more fish to see. What we always do at this point in the proceedings, draw a deep breath, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to settle the championship. Don't go away. The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Timex. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking. By U.S. Bank, your needs, our tools. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. Well, it all comes down to this moment on the Walmart FLW Tour for the year 2000, our championship. Tommy Biffle has weighed in 5 fish. He's the leader with 9 pounds, 10 ounces. Dion Hibden, Stover, Missouri. He's weighed in 4 fish. He's sitting there at 714. That means he needs 1 pound, 13 ounces in order to win the $250,000 in the championship for 2000 on the Walmart FLW Tour. Tommy, let's all get up here and take a look at the scale. We want to see it just as quick as it happens. And Dion, 1 pound 13.
Can I watch him get it out?
Well, you can if you like there. If you can see
Yeah,
him
well, I think
sneaking out
everybody's
there.
watching.
I guess you're interested in what he's going to bring out.
Yeah.
1 pound 13 is what we're looking for. 1 pound, 13 ounces to win the championship. Dion Hibden, 5th fish.
Is anybody nervous up here?
Not me, no. Looking for 1 pound 13.
This fish is very alive. He's nervous too. 2 pounds, 9 ounces.
Dion Hibden is your champion. Let's hear it for them, both these guys. What a job, what a job. And there's the family, the whole family there. What a wonderful deal. Hey, just so we'll know the names, let's tell us who everybody is here, Dion.
This is Peyton, that's Lawson, and this is Connor, and this is my wife, Jill. My mom and dad's out there, Guido and Stella. There's a bunch of my buddies from down there around Louisiana.
Everybody wants to know how you caught them this week, where you fished, what you used for lures.
I fished probably my favorite way of fishing. I enjoy throwing a jig, and I throwed a 3/8 Ninja jig all week with a Guido's original on the back of it. And when I say throwing a jig, I enjoy throwing a jig in current, and I'm fortunate enough to do pretty well in like tidal situations, and anytime I can find a little bit of current, and because I think it takes a little bit of patience to adjust your cast and get your cast in the right area. A lot of people fished the same area with me, and they caught a few fish, but those big ones position themselves, you know, according to that current, and I enjoy fishing that way probably as much as anything I do. I've won 2 major events in my life, and they were doing what I feel like I'm as good at as any fisherman I fish against. One was with a spinning rod when I won the Classic and skipping, and then today I enjoyed doing what I did today. I mean, you know, all week long when I found them Monday afternoon about 2 o'clock, I thought, if I can win, I can win doing this, because that's the way I love to fish. And it's just kind of a patience deal. If my father taught me anything in the world, it's patience. And this week, that really paid off throughout the week.
We enjoy each and every event, seeing you and this crew out there trying real hard. Got to be super satisfying and really get you pumped up for next season.
You betcha. I'm looking forward to starting at Okeechobee. I'm like a little kid. Yeah, I can't wait to go to the next one. You know, it's like going to Disneyland every day.
All right. Another big hand for Dion Hibden, our champion for the year 2000.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.